And welcome back to another look at interesting products from China. In the band, we've been using these. They're Behringer P2s. Everybody's on in-ears. We all use radio packs apart from the drummer, who obviously doesn't move, and there's no real point doing radio for him. So these little Behringer P2 units solve the problem. On the bottom of it, we've got typical socket. It's XLR combi, so you can stuff the output from the mixer into there on an XLR, or you can just stick a jack plug in. It's fine. Simple little thing like that. Clip on your belt. So the drummer would have it down there. He's got the thing going up the back of his head, and he's got his in-ears in there. Volume knob on the top. Battery inside. Clicks on there. If you pull it apart, press a little button on the side, slide the catch down, and it opens up to reveal two batteries that have gone decidedly manky. So that's something to sort. Ugh. Oh well, never mind, let's not worry about that. I haven't used it for 6 months or so, but there we go. But this little unit is about 50 quid. Really does a good job. I mean, they sound neutral, so I mean, whatever you stick in comes into your ears with plenty of volume. And being the drummer, he also sang, so he wanted it fairly loud in his ears to get over the top of the awful racket that was coming out of the drum kit. Sorry. But these are really useful, and £49 I didn't think was too bad. Well, today's episode is all about when can you make a bit of a silly mistake on AliExpress. And I saw something that I thought was too good to be true. This little product. Little black box, belt clip, volume knob on the front. And I thought, that's a Behringer P2. It's not. And it's not even the same size. If you hold the two things up together, you can see there's a significant difference in the actual case size. Mainly because the P2 has got a battery pack inside, you know, for two treble A's. This doesn't. And of course the scale in the picture doesn't make that immediately apparent. It's described as a portable headphone amplifier adapter. And that's where I made the mistake of not reading much further, because I saw the price that was under 10 quid. And I thought, that's really good. I could have a few of those. They'd be really useful. I mean, we certainly got on all right with those P2s. So I figured if I could get hold of these might be quite a useful little product to sort of keep in stock. And the label on the side is pretty interesting. Professional headphone amplifier. No, it's not. It's a totally passive device. And in all fairness, it does use the word passive in the advert. Realistically, it's very well made. It's not an extrusion. It's sort of, you know, there's steel on it of some kind, I think, to make the spring clip. But essentially, it's D size to suit an XLR 3-pin. Now, that's where I should have noticed the warning bells ringing. And, you know, I saw a bargain and thought, whoa, I'll jump in and grab some. Totally passive. There are 3 wires that come off the XLR, and they go to a little PCB on the other end. There's a 10k pot, there's a small resistor for isolation, and that's it. What do you do with it? Well, it does come with an adapter. It's a 3-circuit XLR adapter. These are fairly standard little products. I mean, 3-pin male XLR on one end and a 3-circuit 1/4-inch jack on the rear. So you can plug in, you know, the big socket that we use on a pair of big headphones, you know. So it comes with that. And then what you do is you attach the two things together. So you've got that. If you've got a jack cable, like I have here, that's got 2 3-circuit, as in stereo jacks on the end, you stuff that into there, and that goes into your headphone output. Okay, so you're using some sort of device that's got a headphone output. So I suppose on stage it could be keyboards and things like that. No good with a guitar, of course. It's got to be something that would drive a pair of headphones. And then what you do is you stick that end in the headphone socket and you plug your small in-ears with the 3.5mm socket into the connector on the end of there. So in this case, what I've got is a small pair of earbud type earpieces. You could stick them in. You stick that into that socket there. And if you turn the volume up on there to full and plug that into your amp, there's enough level. In actual fact, I've tried it on a couple of things here. I've tried it on one of my interfaces and things as well. And there is plenty of volume coming out to drive that to the normal maximum. But remember, all you can do with the volume knob is turn it down. There is no amplifier whatsoever in here. Despite being, professional headphone amplifier is written on the side, but there is no amplifier in there whatsoever. It's a totally passive device. What goes in on full volume comes out of the socket on the front. So it's a sort of adapter, really, from a big socket to a little socket with a volume control. And if you treat it as such, the 10 quid is probably worth it, isn't it? So, I can remember quite a few times when you stick a pair of headphones on, walk across the studio, play the first note, and it's dreadfully loud in your headphones. You have to walk all the way across the room and turn the volume down. Well, this little gizmo would clip on your belt and you can adjust your volume up and down. So it does have a purpose. I'd like to think that they haven't done it on purpose. I think it's just a miscommunication or a misunderstanding of, the language that we use for live and recorded music. We see the word amplifier and we assume it gets louder. Well, as it doesn't take a battery, there is no way to make it louder. It's nicely made. The pictures inside show you it's actually sort of, a nice little circuit board. What look like decent quality sort of connectors. The wiring's nice and neat and tidy. It's actually on a plug and socket, so you can actually disconnect the front panel from the cable. It's okay, and it's 10 quid. So is it worth buying? Well, as long as you understand what you're buying, yes, it is. The advert is quite clear. It says portable headphone amplifier converter, XLR to 3.5mm audio interface, mini hi-fi headphone amplifier, clip mount amplifier converter. Wow. Well, that's actually true. If you assume that the amplifier it talks about is your other amplifier and not this. So I guess this one is, it's not one of the videos that I've never said, whatever you do, don't buy this because it's rubbish. This is, whatever you do, don't buy it thinking it's going to amplify a line level from your mixer up to headphones, because it isn't. In actual fact, it's even, I tried that just for fun, and you can just about hear something, but it's doesn't have the oomph. So what comes out of your line level sockets on your mixers, amps, interfaces is not going to drive this. So don't think it does. But if you've got like a headphone output that's got reasonable volume, or more volume than you probably need, it's going to work. So anyway, what do you think of that? Buy one? Not buy one. To be honest, the adapter and the box is probably worth a tenner if you're going to make one of these yourself. And if you're really clever, you could even make a little amplifier to go inside it, I guess. Buy a little PCB, stick it inside, bump the volume up, and away you go. But that's perhaps a project for another day. Look after yourselves. Take care.